it.
Yeah.
Years later, because that was like what, 2014 or something. That was 2020, and like now it's just now starting to make sense why that happened.
Right. And I think like my daughter, she likes to meditate, and I try to do it with her sometimes. The reason why we probably don't do it as much is just because the busy schedule, but I
Mhm.
try to do it with her. And really, I would love to set a good routine for that, because I think it would help us to connect with each other too. I mean, we
Mhm.
dance and sing songs and stuff like that, but I would like her to, and actually I'm lying. We listen to Trigger Protection Mantra regularly together.
Oh, okay.
Um, but as far as like just sitting down and really doing it, because she has difficulty, and so do I, sitting still.
Mhm.
But having somebody to lead a group of kids, and I saw this the other day, somebody doing this on
Mhm.
Instagram, a white woman, but she was she was leading a group of girls through a series of exercises and then meditation, and like that's her business.
Yeah, there's a young woman here in Dallas who does it, yoga in the hood, and
Mm.
she goes around to the schools and she does yoga and meditation with the kids. And I think it's so beautiful. And like I know I saw a guy, I think he was out of New York or somewhere on the East Coast. He was leading that in school, like after school programs. And like it shows that it helps with improved behavior in class, focus, productivity. So I'm like, every school needs this. you know, you need it.
Every school needs something to help these kids connect with their higher self,
Hmm.
because that
That's
is
what we
what
need.
is absolutely missing in school. Nobody teaches emotional intelligence.
Yeah,
Nobody.
there's definitely.
And even if they do, it's like one counselor for every 300 schools that's like, I care about this. So that's not consistent. It's
Hmm.
got to be on a consistent level for us to change the wave, because we're not going to do it. Our generation is not going to be the one to do it, because even though the majority of Black women are trying to rise and come into their own and understand their power and operate in it, we have to fight against white men, and well, some white men. I would say a large percentage of white men,
Hmm.
Black men who see us rising and feel threatened,
Right.
and then the large percentage of white women who are not witches. Like,
Right. And the rest of them. Yeah.
right.
So.
So it's like, got to be the kids. So it's got to be the others who are aware, and the ones of us who are to be teaching our kids the truth.
Yeah.
So if it means that we have to come up with more groups and more programs for them, then I mean, we absolutely should do it. I think that's what all of this awakening is for people to start programs and to
Hmm.
start sharing. And we can't feel like we're not able to teach because we're still healing,
Right.
because we have a
Because it's
lot
a
to
journey.
offer.
We're going to be healing for healing
Ever.
and learning and getting better. Like that's what this whole experience is about. So,
It really
um,
is. It
yeah.
really is. Well, let me ask you, what do you think one of the main reasons is that women, Black women, brown women, don't make more time for meditation if they know how to meditate?
Well, that's the first, because if they know how,
Mm-hmm.
in my experience from like when I mention what I do or what I'm passionate about in meditation, I always hear this: oh, I'd love to meditate, but it just takes too long, or I don't have the time. And I think the thing that we have to break down is that you don't have to have a lot of time to meditate. Like, we see what I thought, like the Buddhist monks who are meditating for 24 hours a day and things like that, where you really can take 5 minutes, 5 minutes, first thing in the morning, before you even get out of bed, sit up straight, set your intentions for the day, focus on your breath, like before you get out of bed. So there's always time. But I think that we think it's too difficult, it's too challenging, and then a lot of people don't know what to do. Like,
Mhm.
okay, so I'm closing my eyes and then what? And I don't know how to quiet my thoughts and I can't stop thinking. And it's like, chill, you don't have to stop thinking. You still let the thoughts come and then you just you welcome them, you let them go and you dismiss them. But it's about, I try to equate it to, just being a wave, like in the ocean, like just let it wash over you. Just let it wash over you. Those thoughts, those anxieties, say, hey, I hear you. I know you're here. But right now, I'm focusing on me. I acknowledge you, but right now, I'm focusing on my breath because that's what matters. This is the here and this is the now, right? And so I think if we are able to kind of just take that out, that it's not hard and it's not going to take you long. Of course, you can build up to a longer practice. I recommend at least 20 minutes. But in the beginning, girl, if you can sit down and get 2 or 3 minutes of just quiet time and prioritize that because you deserve it. You
Mhm.
deserve quietness. You deserve stillness. You deserve the opportunity to set your intentions. You deserve to sit in your gratitude for a little bit. Like, I think we don't realize that we're so used to taking care of everybody else that we don't prioritize our own health.
Right. And I think that might be one of the reasons why I hate to be using the word difficult, but I think that's one of the reasons why I haven't made it a more permanent practice for me to meditate with her, because I feel like that's my space that
Mm-hmm.
I've been using for just me. So like what would you suggest that I do to like kind of
Keep your
include
space.
her in it?
Keep your space. So let's say if your meditation time is first thing in the morning and that's how you sit and start your day, keep that. Maybe make hers, hey, since a lot of people are doing homeschooling right now, hey, maybe at lunch. How was it after you lunch? Maybe this is how we settle before you go back into classwork. Or
Mm,
maybe we do it right before bed because this is going to calm you down and this is going to make you have a great sleep and we can release everything from the day together. And then that's your bonding experience together. But I wouldn't say to take away your time because that's still very important for you so that you're able to pour in and do all the light work and everything else that you have to do.
right.
Uh, but the thing is, though, I'm the same way. Like me and my boys, when we were driving to school, we would do affirmations in the morning. So in the morning, everybody, we know it's prayers and I ams before we get out the car. But meditation, I've never been as strict on it. They know about it. They practice it, especially when they can't sleep well. I'm like, okay, well, let's do a meditation or something like that. But that's something that I would want to start to do more with them because we work out together sometimes. We'll go for walks together and I see how that brings us closer and how happy they feel when we do that. So I'm like, and I know how good this makes me feel. I need to consistently have them on this level as well. So girl, ain't nobody perfect out here in these streets, not even the meditation girl.
Ain't nobody perfect.
Ain't nobody
Ain't
perfect,
nobody
but we working.
perfect.
We working on it.
Yeah, but the thing is that like, and I feel like the people that I am meant to help are just like me.
Mm-hmm.
They have the same type of issues that I have. So I'm like, if I have mastered 75% of what I'm dealing with, I should go help some people,
Right.
you know?
Absolutely.
And I can't be worried about, like we were talking about, like whether or not I'm gonna be taken seriously. Like I have to take myself seriously.
First.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that's where it starts. So I take myself very seriously. So if you're interested in fixing your mindset,
Come
let
on.
me know.
Like I had to, one of the posts I put up on Brown Girls the other day was I'm a powerful manifester. And I put that up for myself because I needed to reinforce that in myself. Because I'm like, yeah, I hit it sometimes and then sometimes I don't hit it. And I'm like, no, Kim. Because actually one of my clients that I work with, who's actually my favorite client, she believes in manifestation and meditation. And brings in big things. And so I was like, yo, when I listened to her talk about it, like her confidence in it, she was like, oh yeah, anything. I'm just a powerful manifester. I just am. And I was like, I need that same confidence. Not that I can hit it every now and again, but I absolutely get everything I want. And it comes
Yeah.
right on time every time.
Yeah.
Like, so during my walks, even today, I'm like, everything is absolutely working out for me. And I get everything I want in the time that I need to get it.
Hmm. You
Like,
know
I'm
what my issue was I'm saying my issue is, but my issue,
go ahead, put it in the past tense.
yes, my
Yeah.
issue was that I was worried. And it would be, I'm running out of Florida water. Like silly
What
shit.
if I never get it again? What if they stop selling the Florida water? Oh,
Girl, or I don't know if I can go back to that same store. And then I would sit there for a minute and be like, well, I really need my Florida water. I really do. But like, even just those little thoughts like that will keep your manifestations from you.
mm-hmm.
So I started singing to myself, don't you worry about a thing, because it really does help me to
Mm-hmm.
stop that. As soon as I find myself in that ruminating, overthinking, anxious brain mode, I'm like, no,
Right.
kill it. Because that's not how I want to continue to live my life. So I'm really serious about that. Like, if you're at the grocery store and I'm at the grocery store, you might hear me singing to myself,
Don't you worry
don't
about
you worry
that.
about a thing. Because I mean, I have to do what I have to do for me. And I just can't worry about whether or not I'm gonna look crazy to the next person.
I have to let that go. And I'm slowly starting to shed that, because I'm such a people pleaser, and I care
Mm-hmm.
about what people think. And so like that's something that I'm coming to finally as my 37-year-old self, where I'm like, I am starting to feel the most confident I've ever felt. I'm starting to feel the most self-assured in what I'm supposed to do. And I'm like, you know what? If you don't like the way I'm doing it, it's fine. Because maybe it's just not for you. And I don't have to be for everybody. That's fine. Someone else is going to speak to you in your journey, and that's going to work out for you. And if you don't like what I'm doing over here, you don't have to watch it. That's the good thing with social media. You don't have to watch what I'm doing.
Click off. That's what I've been saying. Sometimes when I end a video, I'm like, and if you don't like it, oh well, click off.
Yeah,
You
and that
absolutely
includes
don't
you
have
too.
to be here.
That includes you too, family. Love you, but I'm gonna be me.
Yes.
Period.
You have to. You have to, because if you are not able to get into that space, first of all, you're not going to manifest anything. Secondly,
Mm-mm.
you just won't feel like you are serving your purpose here. And that's what you came here for. And my vision for myself and my life is not the same as yours. Now, do I also help people brand their business? Absolutely. But I don't use the same exact strategy you use. And there's
Right.
no reason for us to not be cool with each other just because we do something similar. I think that's a huge issue in this community. People are like, so you do something like what I do? Oh,
Oh.
okay. Oh, okay. Well, fuck you then. Like, that's
Right. Listen,
silly.
I have a good relationship with another page called Black Girls Meditate. And I didn't know there was a Black Girls Meditate. But I'm like, cool, sis, let me support you. I'm gonna repost and share your stuff too. Because the more people who are out here spreading this message, the better. Because this is a big old earth. And the way she's gonna spread her message is gonna be different than the way I am, because I'm silly and goofy with it too. So it's gonna be a completely different experience. And like there's room for us all. There's room for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, my experience and your experience and her experience and the next person's experience are all different. That's where you're teaching from. What
Mm-hmm.
you know, what you've been through, like you can't even, and that's why I tell people who are like, well, I feel like somebody copied me. Okay, well, even if they did try to copy you, they really can't, because they don't know why you started it.
Right.
They
They
don't
don't have your
know.
why. They don't have
Yeah,
passion.
they don't. And whatever vision you got about it is still yours.
Mm-hmm.
So like you saw the little girls in the circle with the crisscross applesauce, as Kayla would
Yeah.
say, but somebody else who decided they want to do a meditation business didn't see that. So I
So
mean,
it's gonna be a completely different. You're gonna serve from a different place, and
yeah.
yeah. And for me, there's no competition. There's no competition, and there's nothing gonna stop me from getting everything that I want, or reaching the people that I'm supposed to reach. Like there's just
You better
nothing.
talk that talk to me, girl.
I just feel that. I feel that there's absolutely nothing. And like even one thing I wanted to say about the worrying, because I still sometimes fall into the trap, but not as much as I used to, because I really got to the point where I realized I am sitting here all balled up in knots about something that hasn't even happened. And usually when it happens, it is never as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Mm-mm.
It's like I'm sitting here just balled up and I'm just like, oh, okay. Oh, it didn't happen. Oh, okay. I was able to pay rent. like, like
Never.
you're like stressed out going bald over something that never happened.
let me give you an example of this. Last month, or maybe it was earlier this month. So I've had a lot of tension and really like toxicity since I came home within the quarantine in March with my boss and these people at work. And I'm going to tell you the backstory. So let me tell you first about the worry, and then I'm going to tell you the backstory about why I had the stress. So I was going to have my review, and I was so anxious about it because I have these expectations that I set for myself as far as how I'm able to do my work, how well I'm doing. And I know that since I've been here, I just haven't been able to meet all of those standards that I set for myself. So I was like, I'm going to get bad marks based on the standards I set for myself. He don't know. He don't even have the same standards for me. Girl, the review was like, you're the most incredible person I've ever worked with. And I was like, I have to stop this.
Yes.
I have to stop this.
Sometimes when I get emails from clients, before I open it, I have to calm down because I'll be like, what did I do wrong? There's nothing wrong. They just updated me on something or whatever. And I'm like, why do I have this anxiety?
Right. That's why we're going to find Chiron in your charts. We can figure out what's going on.
Yes, let's heal. I need to heal.
Let's figure it out. Okay, so but let me tell you why I felt like it was drama, because in April 2019, the weekend, remember when I went to Dallas?
When did you come to Dallas?
Last year, and I was like, hey, I'm here. Is there anywhere I should go, or is there any cool spots to go to?
What
And
did I say?
you told me to go to some party, somewhere you told me to go. But I went.
Go.
Girl, I don't know. You probably had something else to do.
What was I doing? Okay, never mind. Anyway.
But okay, so I kept feeling like I was getting a download when we were at this club. I can't remember. I'll have to look back at the messages and I'll see if I see it. But I was like, man, I'm getting a download. This is a really cool party. This is a really cool club, and the energy is bumping. And
Good.
Yes, I was loving it. And I was like, I feel like I'm getting a download. I feel like I'm getting a download. And then on the way back, because before we got there, I had went and read this. I don't know what it was that led me to go read it. I'd just be like, oh, look at this, go look at this, go look at this. So then I'm like, oh, well, maybe this, and just like it, all the dots will be connecting. But I read something about the archangels, and I was like, yeah, they don't really want you to be praying to them about nothing. And that's what I wrote on my Instagram. Like that time in my life, I was just like sending out all of these notes that I don't even know where the information was coming from. I would just say it. And then my dad's favorite book, it's called the Book of Enoch. And it's like removed from most spiritual.
Yeah, I want to read. My husband's actually been listening to the audiobook.
Yes. And I actually sent an email to the guy that I guess he annotated the one that I listened to. And I was like, do you think we're close to the end of this book? Because at the end of the book is where they have the war against oppression, the archangels, which of course I don't expect it to be like booming angels come down and like fight oppression, because I really think we're going to be doing the battling.
Yeah, and they're fighting all around us all the time anyway.
All the time. But I just kept feeling like I was getting a download. And so when we got back in the car to come back home, I was like, oh, wow. So I need to have a community center, and I need to have a co-work space, and people need to be able to work there, but their kids got to go to school there. And I need a laptop, and I'm going to be at home, and I got to be at home with my kids. Oh, I must have it. And then right after that, they were like, Nipsey Hussle was murdered. I'm like, I can't take on this, what he doing.
Too much.
Like, who am I? You know what I mean? So that put me in a depression, just like your circle of girls, which I didn't have the accident, but I still felt that same boom, because
like
I was
the drop.
I don't know how to complete this, or I don't know even how to explain it. And I was trying to explain it to people, and they were like, okay, sis. Yeah. Okay. And then I was for like a year obsessing about this work laptop that I needed because I had to work at home. Obsessing about it. And everybody at work was like, what you need to do is just calm down. Because what do you need to be at home for? I'm like, I need to be with my kids, and I need to be there with my kids. And then boom, here's this, okay, we got to give you a laptop and now you got to be at home with your kids. And I was like, oh shit.
Oh my God, girl.
Right. So that made me more depressed. So I was like, I can't believe that I'm a visionary.
Right.
Like a fool. So it was like, that made me feel like they were hating on me because I finally got the laptop.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of what it was. Because I was, girl, for like a year, I was like, y'all gonna give me a laptop. I know
I
it.
need this.
They said I gotta have this laptop. Somebody told me
And
I
so
got, and so y'all gonna give me my laptop. And that made me feel crazy too, because I was like, oh, okay.
I think
Like,
that's the thing. Like when we have these visions and things, we start to feel crazy. Like, okay, wait a minute. What does this really mean? What am I supposed to do? I
yeah.
tell it to somebody and they just kind of looking at me crazy. Like it's very challenging. You have to find
Mm-hmm.
the right people to share it with, or
Or
I write.
don't.
Yeah.
And that's what somebody told me recently. They were like, every time that happens, it's not for sharing. But I didn't know,
Mm-hmm.
because that was the first time it had happened to me on that level. Now, when I started Creative AF, I had another episode kind of like that. That was like, you got to go help the Black community. You got to go out and tell these people that they can rise and be great. And you better go do it now. And of course, at that time, like, I was not ready to be doing that work.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like a whole wobble. And it was like, then, right. Okay. So that was in January. Then April came with the community center episode. And I was like, I don't even want to still be here. Am I ready to go? Because this ain't for me, especially knowing that it ain't real.
Right.
I was just like ready. Like that was probably the most depressed that I have been, that April to like, yeah, probably like
Mm-hmm.
April 2019 to like July of 2019. I was like, I would sit outside and just be like,
What brought you out of it?
um, that Healthy Vibes event that I did. My friend came to me and she was like, I need help. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. Because if I do it, then I tell the universe, this is what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then Fernanda was like, if you don't do it, you'll be saying no. So you have to do it. And I was like, okay.
Okay.
And
I'm giving yes. I'm giving my yes.
yeah, but there was an experience right then that was very powerful too, because it taught me how to say my prayers and how to use my power to draw things,
Mm.
because I was in need of support. And I had opened up the Stevie Wonder Inner Visions album, and all those records had gotten wet in this 80s flood. So they hadn't been opened since then. So I opened it up and I tore it a little bit, and I was like, oh, I know I would get a whooping for this, but thank God you're not
Right.
even here now. So I'm good. I can listen to this music. But when I heard Jesus Children of America, it made me cry. And so I started to write on the inner sleeve, not the outer, but like the little paper on inside. And I
Mm-hmm.
was just like, I need help. I don't know how to do this,
Mm-hmm.
because, I have all this ability, but I'm just not sure how to channel my energy
Yeah.
correctly. And so people who knew started coming to me, and those were like my teachers. And I was so grateful for that. But if I had not sat down to write that, I probably wouldn't have even recognized that that's what they were for when they started coming.
Right. That's why I think it's so important to write. It's so important because even for me, like, had I not written down about how I manifested my husband, like, I wrote down what a day was like when I was going to meet him. And like, so many of the things literally happened. And so, if had I not written it down and then was able to go back and read it to him later, he was like, how did you do how did you do? How did you write down you wanted somebody with dreads and we were gonna go to the gas station and just all these little particulars because I wanted to be very, very
So you would know.
that because I was like, Lord, I need to know because a while ago, while we talk about downloads, I'd had one during meditation while I still lived in Oklahoma. At first, my husband was in Texas. He wasn't here. So I was like, well, good. I'm tired of living here anyways. So that was the first thing. And then one night I was really sad and lonely, and my kids were with their dad, and I was just like, I'm just going to be alone forever. And he was like, I'm sending you a lion. And I was like, a lion? So like, it's going to be a Leo, or like, like what's the lion? And it was a mane. And he was like, yo, he's gonna have a mane, and there's gonna be brown tips and just all these kind of things. And I was just like, okay, cool. Was dating all these people, and like, if they were bald, I was like, I ain't tripping over you. You're not the lion, no way.
You're not the lion.
Are you planning on growing your hair? You're not? Okay, cool. I'm not even worried. And like, even on our first date, when we went to our second location, we went to another bar because we were just vibing so much, like we'd already known each other. The commercial popped up, and there's a lion running around in the commercial. And I was just like, and he didn't know anything, but I was just sitting there like, oh my God. Our first phone conversation, I asked if he had tattoos. He said no. I said, would you get one? Yeah, I think I would get a lion. And this is why I would get a lion. This is on our very first phone call.
Wow.
Like, that had already happened. Then we go to the bar, and there's one on the TV screen. And I was just like, okay, God, I hear you. And then just other things just started popping up. And I started going back through my notebook, and I was like, oh my gosh. Like, it was just crazy. And I don't like need to say it's crazy, but
I mean, but it is. I think when you're starting to understand it, you'd be like, this is really crazy because of how it really works.
Yeah.
It's like exactly like magic.
Yeah. I was like, so you telling me I can really create my own reality? Mm-hmm. Like, for real? And like, everything around me right now is like, I manifested this unknowingly, like the good and the bad. Like, I manifested this. So shoot, what else can I do? What else? Like, I just feel really creative.
Yes. Girl.
And to bring it back to meditation, like, meditation gave me the clarity and the stillness to be able to get into this space to do it. And like, when those feelings of anxiety start to rise, I know I need to take a few minutes. Mm-hmm. And I need to sit down, and I need to put on, I like to maybe put on some waves in the background, or if it's a guided meditation or whatever, and just get still.
Yeah.
For a few minutes. It really helps.
Right. Bill, that was actually the question too, is how has meditation benefited you personally? And what are some tips for getting started and best practices? So you're meditation did
this. So going straight into that, like, yeah, it really helped me with my focus. It's helped me with anxiety for sure. And helped to put me in a better place to manifest some things that I'm really after.